One of the things I hear the most often about why you can't achieve your goals is that you're not motivated. And I'm here to tell you that motivation is not the problem, and it's definitely not going to be the solution. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to chat with you today. Sorry for the dramatic intro. That's not my normal MO, but it was just feeling so important to me, especially as we start to think about the new year. January is coming, and with January comes a lot of motivation, and I want us to embrace that. I want us to ride that motivation wave. But the truth is, it wears off. For some people, you make it through the whole month of January and it wears off. I think there's like an actual date of like Quitter's Day in February where the majority of people have quit their goals by whatever date in February. And I don't want that to be you this year. And so I want to remind you that motivation is not what's going to get you through your 2026 goals. It's just not. It has to be the foundations. It has to be the goal setting basics. And if you have been around here for a while, I am probably not going to say anything groundbreaking, and please don't leave. But I'm probably not going to say anything groundbreaking. But I want you to hear these things again. I want you to hear these basics, these foundations, these goal setting. I can't even think of another word other than these are the keys to making sure that you achieve your goals in 2026. Okay, there's 4 of them. Number 1, your goal has to matter to you. You cannot pick a goal because you feel like you should. You cannot pick a goal because somebody else said that you needed to have that goal. You cannot pick a goal just because it's been on your list for year after year. I did a video on that last month about carrying goals over from year to year. Your goals have to matter to you right now. There has to be at least one, if not multiple reasons why this goal is something you want to prioritize. And I always tell the story, and now I feel like I'm getting there. My daughter hasn't done it yet, but I played this game recently with another little kid. Have you ever been around a toddler who asks you a question and you give them an answer and then they say, why? And then you give them another answer, you think it's satisfactory, and they go, why? They're not being difficult. They're just genuinely curious because they don't understand and they want to know why. They want to understand more about the world around them. I want you to do the same exercise with your goals. When I ask you, why is this goal important to you? You probably can come up with the first answer pretty quickly. Probably comes to your head pretty fast. But then I want to dig a little deeper. Why? Why that? Why that answer? And then I want to keep going and I want to keep going. And it will get harder as you dig a little deeper and you try to figure out another why. But eventually you're going to get to a why that actually means something to you. Or you're going to hit a stopping point and be like, I don't actually have a good reason. Maybe this goal isn't something you want to prioritize. As we start to pick goals for the new year, I don't want you to pick goals just because they sound good or they look good on paper. I want you to make sure you're picking goals that actually matter to you. Number 2, your steps are too big. You're not breaking that goal down enough. You've got to break your goal down into smaller steps that you could actually achieve. I did a video last week about fitting goals into your chaotic life, and one big piece of that was making sure that those steps actually fit into your life. The biggest thing to keep in mind here is not trying to take a goal leap, to take a small step. Maybe you want to work on your water intake. And right now, I don't even have a water jug nearby. Normally I have one as my example. I always say, by the way, to measure water in devices as opposed to ounces. Ounces is complicated and difficult to calculate. So let's say you have your water bottle that you use every single day. Right now, you are lucky if you get to the bottom of that one water bottle. And you can just feel that you want to be drinking more water. And so maybe you're thinking, in an ideal world, I drink 3 of those in a day. So I'm gonna start in January and I'm gonna set a daily habit to drink 3 of those. I'm gonna tell you that first day, not only are you gonna be spending a lot of time in the bathroom, but it's gonna be really tough for you to get 3 of those in. Instead, what I would rather have you do is say, okay, in January, I'm gonna prioritize actually getting 1 full water bottle thing in. And you do that consistently. Not every day. I didn't say every day. Consistency doesn't have to look like every single day, but most days you're getting that 1 in. So then in February, you up it to 1.5. And that's a little bit harder because you forget to fill that up. So you have to set a reminder for yourself to fill up that water when it gets to the bottom, and then you start working on 1.5, and then you go to 2. And it takes you a couple of months to build your way up to 3. But now, not only are you not going to the bathroom every second because you let your body adjust, but you are consistently drinking about 3 of those water bottles per day. That is how I want you to tackle your goals, not jumping from 0 to 3 or even 1 to 3. And you can apply this to basically any goal. Start with where you're at and have a small increment. In terms of more project-based goals, you've just got to break it down into steps that aren't going to feel overwhelming to you. And I have a ton of different videos on breaking down your goals if that's something that you need help with. But in this video, I'm just reminding you of the basic that you have to break your goal down into smaller steps. This was a step that I did not fully understand or appreciate when I first started setting goals. And it's not easy. Breaking down goals, I feel like, is a skill that I have definitely honed in on over the last however many years I've been talking about goals in my business and on my channel. But actually breaking down your goals is not necessarily an easy step. And so don't feel like you are a failure and you're not going to achieve your goals just because you can't break it down. I am here to help. I want to make sure that you get that goal broken down, but it is a key part to achieving your goals. Number 3, and this is definitely the one that the old version of me really didn't do at all. And so I don't know how she thought she was going to achieve her goals. You've got to schedule time for your goals. Okay. Those small steps that you broke down, you have to actually put them in your calendar. You can't just assume that they're going to happen. You have to schedule time. And I know time is precious. I have done lots of videos. I don't mean for this video to be like a reference to a million other videos, but I have done a lot of videos on goals in the last however many years here on YouTube. Time is a valuable, valuable resource, and it's tough. And we probably don't have as much of it as we would want to focus on our goals. Most of us, I won't say all of us, we're not all or nothing around here, have more goals than we have time for. And that can get frustrating. And so then you can be like, well, I'm just not going to do anything, or I'm not going to schedule anything. I would rather you schedule some things and schedule some action steps, even if it's not all of your action steps. But you have to have a rhythm of putting those action steps in your calendar. And then the sub step to this is that you have to actually do it. You have to follow through on that. And that can be difficult, but if all those other steps are in place before, it's a lot easier to follow through. That goal matters to you and that step is small and it's actually in your calendar at a time that makes sense. You're way, way, way more likely to follow through on it than if you just like willy-nilly decide, okay, next Saturday I'm gonna organize the garage. Where is that coming from? Did you break it down? If you just put something randomly like that on the calendar, no, you're not as likely to follow through on it. But if you have a good reason why you want the garage decluttered and you have broken that down into steps that you can track and check off, it's a lot easier for you to follow through once you put it on your schedule. And the last one is that you're not checking in and refreshing your goals. This can be tough, especially for those of us who are go, go, go. We like to just like move on to the next thing. Taking time to check in and reflect and refresh is absolutely key. And this is something that I know you're like, well, I don't want to put aside the time to refresh my goals. I would rather spend that time on my goals, and I get it. But taking the time to refresh is going to make those goals that you're doing next that much better, that much more likely that you're actually going to achieve them. And if that's something that you need help with, that is what the Goals with Laken community is all about. I want to make sure over the course of the year, you are checking in with your goals and refreshing them as needed. Yep, I'm going to remind you of these other basics as well. I'm going to be there to support you in a million and one other ways, but in my opinion, most importantly, I'm going to make sure that you are checking in with your goals throughout the year, and you're not going to quit all your goals by whatever date that is in February. I should have looked that up before I started filming this video, but I'm going to make sure that you are each month assessing your goals. What progress have you made? What worked? What didn't work? And making sure that you keep going. So if that's something you feel like you want some extra support with, come check out the Goals with Laken community. If you have any questions about it or you want to chat further, you can comment below or send me a DM on Instagram and we can chat and see if the community is a good fit for you. But as we start to round the corner, I still can't believe like I'm talking about this in videos, but like it's almost time to start thinking about 2026. My mission, I am here, I want to help you. I want to make sure that you are focused on your goals and that you actually make progress on things in 2026 that you have been either putting off or too scared to do, and I want to support you through that. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, comment below with the brick emoji, because we're building those bricks, we're setting those goal foundations. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching.